Hi students, welcome to Nutrition, Food Test and Digestion. Okay, so for this lecture video itself, we are only going to discuss the first two, which is nutrition and food test. Digestion is a lengthier topic, so we will keep that for the next video itself. Alright, now the classes of food is very common. We often see it being advertised on the streets, or being in pamphlets, or even in television or advertisements. So we have got the main classes that we are all comfortable and we know well. So these few main ones, we have got the fats, okay, we also have carbohydrates, and we have got proteins. All right, now fiber and water, okay, so often older generations will tell us to eat more fruits and vegetables, mainly for the fiber. Water is for hydration. Okay, lesser known among individuals will be this component, which are your vitamins and your minerals. Okay, so the table at the bottom break it down into the different components. Okay, so for carbohydrates are actually the main source of energy to the body. Okay, so if you realize some little children at a younger age, when they're given a bar of chocolate or sweets, they end up running around crazily or having high amounts of energy for a short burst of time. Okay, that is due to the sudden presence of carbohydrates in their body, and that is utilized by the brain. Okay, so we are all familiar with carbohydrates, commonly found in food. Now, the component or the part that I want to point out, okay, or I want to emphasize rather, is this one. Okay, notice the difference between starch, cellulose and glycogen. All right, now glycogen is only in mammals, okay, whereas for your cellulose and starch, those are only in plants. Okay, so do not mistake between these two. So these two are only in plants themselves. Okay, so moving on to proteins. We are all familiar with this. You have got plant-based proteins here. You also have got animal-based proteins. So the purpose of proteins is that it will be broken down into amino acids, which is the smallest form. And this amino acid form will then be used to generate things like your protein, which is mainly for growth, repair, synthesizing enzymes for chemical reactions, and to form antibodies. Okay, so antibodies, recall for this, it is a component that is being produced by the white blood cells, which help to fight pathogens. Okay, which help to fight your bacteria and your viruses. Okay, that is a recap from an earlier chapter. We also have got fats. Okay, so the purpose of fats acts as an insulation, okay, and stored energy. So the first two reasons is why people at very cold countries like Alaska, they tend to consume a high fat content. Okay, so some of these people, what they do is they literally put in blocks of butter into their coffee just for the fat content. Okay, so of course we can't do it in a tropical country like Singapore, simply because the fats will be excess in us and it will give us health problems. Okay, fats are also used for soluble fat vitamins. So some of these fat soluble vitamins will be things like my vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, and also vitamin A. Okay, so these fat soluble vitamins, they do not have to be consumed on a daily basis, as they can be stored for future use. Okay, so vitamins, minerals, okay, these are for proper growth and development. Fiber to stimulate peristalsis. Peristalsis is simply movement of the muscular walls. Okay, so in the small intestines and the large intestine mainly, okay, so large intestine mainly will require fiber to ensure that there is good bowel movement. Okay, water is the most important, because recall that we have got this component in blood that is called plasma in an earlier chapter. So plasma consists mainly of water. Okay, so on a hot day when we are sweating, we actually lose water to regulate the body temperature. Okay, and it's also to transport substances around the body itself.